Good evening to all the Scouts of South Australia, both here in person and joining us online. My name is Lincoln Rieger, and I am the South Australian representative for the National Youth Ambassador team. And I have a privilege of standing here today representing the Youth Commissioner Patrol. Before we start, I'd like to extend an invitation to ask questions at the end of our segment. So, who are we? We are the Youth Commissioner Patrol. We're a group of 7 passionate scouting enthusiasts, each bringing unique perspectives and dedication to the table. Our group consists of members in different sections, including Scouts, Venturers, and Rovers. Our group, we all share a love for scouting and a strong commitment for shaping the future. Since our formation in October last year, we've been on a mission to make a difference. Each of us has been deeply involved in scouting, actively supporting our fellow youth members in different capacities. Our primary goal is simple yet crucial: to amplify the voices of young scouts across South Australia. We're here to lead and advocate for youth agency within our organisation. Through monthly updates to the branch leadership team, we ensure that the needs of young scouts are heard. I'm now going to pass on to my fellow Youth Commissioner Patrol member, Erin, for the next steps.
I'm not quite as tall as you, Lincoln, so I'm just going to do that. Hi, I'm Erin. I primarily am a group leader and Joey leader and venture leader at Kibben Park. But like everyone here, wear a lot of other different hats within the scouting organisation in South Australia. Just wanting to give a little bit of an overview on what our... I'm good. Thank you. Of what our session is going to be about today. So we have 4 main goals, which you can all read on the screen. We have a bunch of questions that have been put forward to the youth members of South Australia, and they have answered them, and we are going to get you to answer them as well. And our goal is to challenge perspective and look at things through a youth perspective versus maybe more experienced scouting perspective. We're looking at starting conversations, looking at opening discussion, and also engaging thought. And now these 4 things aren't ending in this room. And the point of the questions we're asking tonight isn't to, finish AGM, leave and never think about them again. We want you to take the discussions that are had and the questions that are being asked back to your youth members and open and continue this conversation with them. Our goal is to encourage them and engage them through the rest of their scouting journeys, to empower them. And that's what we're planning to do tonight. So the way it's going to work, I'm going to hand over to Elijah next, who is going to explain the program we're using. It's called Menti. Can be used both in person for you and online, for everyone online. And he's going to explain how it works. We're going to ask the questions, have one of our other patrol members give a couple of thinking thoughts during the time where you're answering the questions as well. Then we'll discuss your answers versus the youth members' answers. Cool. Elijah?
Thanks very much, Erin. My name is Elijah. And I am the Assistant Unit Leader at Atunga Rovers, a newly formed unit in the Blackwood, Belair and Eden Hills region. So as a patrol, as Erin said, we love to get feedback from all of our youth members in scouting. And as you'll hear from Sarah shortly, we've been to quite a few events this year, where we've sort of asked some questions and tried to get some feedback coming from the youth about their experiences. We'd love to share these responses with you and hear some different perspectives from those of you who are here tonight. So there should be a QR code up very shortly that you'll be able to scan on your devices. That will have a link to a quiz that you can fill out as the presentation comes or afterwards. The responses will be used just to help us in making some decisions. If you don't have a device, don't worry. Feel free to just pay attention. As I've said, bring some of the discussion points back to your units if you like. I'll now hand over to Pip while you get sorted with that.
G'day, I'm Pip and I am a current scout at Glen Osmond and part of the Youth Commissioners Patrol. While you set up the Menti site on your devices, listen to some funny jokes I have. How is socks like scouts? They always come pre-prepared. What did the leader say to a scout who's nervous about learning to tie a bowline? You have nothing to worry about. Thank you.
Thank you, Pip. Awesome. Perfect. Well, good evening all. I am Sarah Klein. I'm an active Rover Scout, Assistant Scout Leader and the current branch Youth Commissioner for our branch. As a patrol, we have set many long and short-term goals. A major goal for our patrol is to host a branch-wide youth forum that's accessible to Scouting members and the public, and then to follow this with an informed position statement for our Youth Commissioner patrol. With our findings over the next 6 months and the past 6 months, we are hoping to develop the informed position statement that highlights the current youth issues within South Australian Scouting and what stance we want to take on action items in the following years of our patrol. This is the first year of our patrol, and it will really set the grounds for how we want to function. Our main goal for this year overall is to identify the issues that are currently prominent throughout our youth organisation and how we can address these issues in everything that we do going forward. So your responses from tonight will be collated and go towards that position statement with the Youth Forum. Awesome. So everyone has a wide range of scouting experiences. I want everyone to reflect on what you would consider to be your best scouting experience. Make sure to fill in the Menti as we show you what our youth members have said. So yeah, personally, some of my favourite scouting memories are from major events like Australian Jamborees, where we're able to form connections through resilience building circumstances. So Pip, what do you think is one of your best scouting experiences?
For me, my best scouting experience so far was in Cubs when we went on an adventurous journey for my Grey Wolf Award, and my Cub and Scout buddies and I were able to bond over this experience as we rode our bikes down the River Torrens to develop our own skills and friendships.
Perfect. And now we're just going to watch a video of some of our recorded responses from our big picnic.
So I think my best scouting experience was going caving. We go caving in the Flinders Ranges and it's so fun. You go abseiling, go through lots of little squeezes, and it's a real big adventure. Probably New Zealand venture last year. Went over there, that was pretty cool. So I did the West Coast Wonders expedition. So we did all the tourist stuff on the West Coast for a week. And then we had phase 2, which was just a massive camp out of Christchurch.
It was at the Coleman Cup that was held here last year, and it was when my group won the Scouts Choice Award.
My best scouting experience was probably on the camps. We had heaps of fun, and I especially liked the one at Woodhouse, which we're at now.
Awesome. So yeah, at our branch events so far, Super Splash and the Big Picnic, we have had we've had massive poster boards that gave scouts the opportunity to write their perspectives on their scouting journeys. So I think just before the video there, we had some of those written responses. Perfect. And then, awesome. Here is a video as well that we filmed at the Big Picnic. Perfect. Yeah, thank you though. If you filled out the Menti question that was up just then. And yeah, we'll go on to why were you in Scouts? Thank you, Hugo.
Thank you, Sarah. All right. I'll move this up a bit more. I'm Hugo. I'm a Cub leader at Eden Hills, and I'm also a rover at Atonga Rovers. Tonight, I'll be asking you just a couple of the questions, and I hope you are listening. First up, we want to know how you joined youth, whether you're an adult or a scout. It is important for us to know why you joined, so we can use it to help make Scouts better for all. While you're filling your answers, we have another few questions presented by some of our youth on video.
Why am I in Scouts? I just love camping, love being outdoors, and I love making new friends.
Having fun with others and making friends at Scouts. I didn't really know about it until I came a couple of years ago to here, and I went to the activity centre. I saw a bunch of people with badges on them in neckies having fun doing rock climbing and stuff, and then I was like, oh, I want to do that.
I've loved it since Joey's, so I'm following after my brother.
I think I'm in Scouts because of all the amazing leadership opportunities that we get, and just all the activities we can do, like interstate and at our local group level, just all the things, all the people that we can meet. Coming to big events like the Big Picnic and all over the place, just seeing all friends that we've met throughout the years, just catching up and just having those connections is really special for me.
All right. Elijah, why did you join Scouts?
I was dragged into Scouts by my friends. I think that's the story for most people. and absolutely loved it and just kept going with it until we're here. Yeah.
I'll pass back to Sarah right now.
Perfect. So another question we had is, what is the purpose of scouting? So something that we need to consider is how scouting's purpose is progressing for our youth. What purpose could we say scouting fulfills for our youth today? This would be a lot different to what Robert Baden-Powell intended when he founded scouting. So we must ask,
that's more environmentally friendly and also just a sustainable way of connecting through scouting activities and everything like that.
A lot of fun and adventuring and trying new things.
I think the purpose of scouting is as well as like building your knowledge as like a person, like about yourself and about everything around you, as well as just like meeting some new people and like meeting like-minded people.
Purpose of scouting? I think that the purpose of scouting is to encourage youth members to step out of their comfort zone while in a safe, controlled manner and just trying all these new things, trying these new activities, and also a safe place for people to make friends if they're not as sporty or if they're yeah.
Okay, next question. What does scouting mean to you? It is an important question because we want to know what keeps you guys here. And so we have another few answers from the big picnic.
I guess it's to grow. It's to challenge yourself. Improve yourself as a leader, as a person in the community. Give back to people that have helped you over your life, and yeah, things like that.
I've been in Scouts for a long time. I'd say I probably joined because my parents were in Scouts, but I've stayed for the community, the events, just everything you do in Scouts. It's overall a very good experience.
Making new friends and going out of your comfort zone, trying new things. For scouting, to me, it means like meeting lots of new people and as well like developing all those life skills.
For me, being part of Scouts is about the youth's and the adults' ability to grow from it. They have a lot of challenges in Scouts, and they work hard to work through it, and they have in the end, they have challenging activities to go through and gain from Scouts in a meaningful way, which is really important. Back to Sarah.
Thank you. So yeah, we're just going to look at the past and the future for our patrol. So our patrol has set the short and long-term goals at our first meeting. Some of these are quite ambitious, but we wanted to set some powerful challenges for ourselves. In the long term, we hope to achieve widespread visibility and presence. We want to be able to go into a meeting or an event or a program night and have at least one person in the room know what the Youth Commissioner Patrol is. We want people to know who we are and understand how we can collaborate with members in various capacities. With the reveal of our logo as well tonight, as you may have seen, we are hoping to create a brand that people will recognise. Like I spoke about earlier, we're also in the works of planning our first youth forum and position statement. We also have goals to grow the membership of our patrol as people become more aware of who we are. We want to establish a way for Scouts to contribute to the content of our meetings as well, having available and open channels for people to provide perspectives, input and reinforce ideas on how our patrol works and what we work on. So things like the Menti, things like our boards, we really do appreciate. Expect to see us at the RSL Anzac Day Vigil and the March in the City upcoming, and Easter Venture, Colwyn Cup, and so much more as the year progresses. Perfect, on to Lincoln.
Now that we've addressed all of our goals for the coming years, what do you guys want to see from us? So please scan the QR code and give us some of your ideas. If you have any direct questions or anything you would like to address, you can always reach out to Sarah at youth.commissioner@sa.scouts.com.au. So that's youth.commissioner@sa.scouts.com.au. And please make sure you follow us on @ScoutsYouthTeam on Instagram to see what we're getting up to.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, and on to the AGM for tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our AGM. I now ask all voting members watching the stream to indicate their presence, because it is important we actually know the exact number of people who are party to the AGM. And while we've got a wonderful crowd here of voting members, I believe there's also a lot more people out there in our virtual world. Before we move on though, I do need to thank Sarah and her team or her patrol in doing the presentation to us tonight, and more importantly the research which you've identified. I think the questions that you are proposing and hopefully the answers that you get will actually provide you with a great way forward in identifying what the patrol will be able to achieve into the future. And remember, what you do achieve will be a great benefit to the organisation, because I think an organisation such as ours is a youth organisation, and we have been desperately in need of a youth voice, both to government and to the community. So thank you very much. I now ask that we listen to the acknowledgement of country. Thank you.
Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, as the traditional custodians of this land, we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. We're grateful to do our scouting on this country. We commit to using its resources wisely and develop our understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures. We also acknowledge any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Scouts who are a part of our movement today.
So I now formally declare the annual general meeting open and acknowledge members present and those that are online. Our patron, Rear Admiral the Honourable Kevin Scarce, ACST RAN retired. Directors of the board, Simon Gray, Catherine Affleck, Janice Bates, who are online, as well as Langdon Blight, Brenton Scroop, Sue Hill and Reese Grimshaw, who are here tonight. Mr. Jamie Dreco, the Managing Director of Nexa Edwards Marshall, and Miss Ida Wong, Partner Investment Advisory LGT Crestone. Our very important Chief Commissioner, SA Branch, John Clark. The Deputy Chief Commissioner, Greg Warnes. The Chief Executive Officer, SA Branch, James Sellers, and the many members of staff who are also here tonight. Thank you very much. All other commissioners, group leaders, committees, chairs and life members, as well as the branch leadership team, and I believe that Bob Ellis, Simon Frederick and Chris Bates are online. Obviously, also like to welcome Harry Long, a previous Chief Commissioner, sitting out there down the back, and life members including Bernie Ryan and Paul Williams. Thank you for all those that are attending. As you are all aware, the Scouts SA Annual General Meeting is an important annual milestone in our calendar. While the meeting does not have the excellence and the excitement of a youth activity, which we all very much enjoy, it does give us the time to formally reflect on our achievements during the past 12 months in reviewing the annual report. Importantly, in this reflection, there's an opportunity to consider and evaluate the governance and effectiveness of the branch at a strategic level. The structure of our AGMs have changed since COVID. Those that had previously been at AGMs would remember we basically had an AGM, people voted at the AGM, and then the motions were either passed or they weren't passed. There was an opportunity for postal votes, but that was quite limited to those people that lived more than 100 kilometres away from the GPO. We've changed that considerably, where in the new world, as far as the AGM and the voting, is that the voting occurs pre-AGM. There's also an opportunity, as there was historically, to ask questions, and that can be done, and it has been done in the past. But I think the greatest benefit of the changing process has been the significant uptake in voting members. And I think that's really important as an organisation. The more people that actually vote, the better it is for the organisation. And there's been a significant increase since we've changed the way that we've our methodology in relation to the AGMs. And I just need to remind people that I have heard that people were not aware that you couldn't vote at the AGM or you couldn't vote at the special meeting, which we just had. Well, this is a new process, and just to remind people that this is the way at the moment, depending on a change by the board, that the AGMs proposed to be conducted. Apologies. Apologies can be seen on the slide. Are there any further apologies which need to be identified? John Hooper and Sarah Robinson. All right, thank you. I now invite our Chief Commissioner, John Clark, to acknowledge members that have gone home over the last 12 months. Thank you, John.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight we acknowledge and remember the following members who have gone home. Daniel Heritage, Colin Daniels, Dennis Stevens, Deirdre Ryan, Kenneth Lord, Vowder Lord, Michael Berryman, John Whitbread, Barry Murley, Christopher Hedger, Rona Chenery, Alma Anker, Jeffrey Shahinga, William Sanderson, Margaret Patterson, Barbara Martin, John Sheehan, Jessica Bickley, Graham Cox, Richard Mansfield, Mari Sunners, Jeffrey Turner, Gavin Bowman, Melville Easton, Nicholas Brown. I'm sure all of us know some or all of those people and will have many fond memories from the experiences we have been lucky to share with those members. I therefore ask that we pause for a minute's silence to remember all those who have gone home. Thank you.
The minutes of the previous AG special general meeting have been circulated. I'm pleased to announce that members have accepted the AGM minutes of the special meeting and the AGM of March 2023. I'm now going to move on to the presentation of the annual report. But just before I do that, there's a couple of seats down here, guys. I know you're a very tall man. I don't want you to get any taller because your mum and dad won't be able to afford your pants. So you want to sit down here? There's room. Thank you very much. Our annual report. Hopefully people have had an opportunity to have a look at it, either online or in hard copy. Provides a summary of branch performance over the last 12 months? And is that vision for our future? In my message within the report, I've attempted to highlight some of the key differences that we in Scouting have in comparison to many other youth organisations. The sense of belonging. The sense of belonging to this organisation is so important to us. It is part of our DNA. Whenever you speak to people who have had a Scouting experience, they very quickly and fondly speak of the fun and experiences that they have during their life as a Scout. And it doesn't really matter if they were in Cubs for 3 months or have been, like many of us here today, in Scouting for the most of their lives. And importantly, the way that Scouting has been so critical to their own personal growth and development. Many of us believe that they wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for Scouting. This is something that we often forget and should be so proud of, both individually and as an organisation. While I speak of some of the challenges that we have had, which have impacted on our ability to provide a quality and enjoyable program and has somewhat reduced our numbers in the past, I also wish to identify why I believe the time has come for us to grow and prosper. Our leadership understand the challenges and have a shared plan, vision to succeed, supported by the branch. And I probably wish to focus on the shared vision and the shared plan, which is so important as a team. The Chief Commissioner has a number of proactive strategies to grow Scouting in initiatives such as the Youth Patrol, Evolve, many other initiatives. Our 5-year financial plan is operating well and will see us become financially sustainable in the near future. Our new strategic plan, supported by the branch, identifies opportunities to build the brand of Scouting, to enhance our relevance both to the community and to government, which are both very important. A strong focus on our adventurous activities areas will ensure their exciting, diverse activities are available to all. And that was highlighted very well in the commentary from many of our youth members at the Big Picnic. And that continued focus on our program. I know the program is challenging to some, and I won't say it's a new program because John will tell me off. The program is so important and is at the absolute foundation to our growth. In accordance with Scouts SA Constitution, the board have approved and submitted the audited financial statements and annual report to the AGM. To ensure Scouting SA continues to meet the compliance obligations of both the ACNC and CBS. The approved audited financial statements and annual reports have been published on the Scouts SA website. Members have been advised by email and by post prior to the AGM that the audited financial statements and annual report are available on that website. Where preferred, printed copies were also made available to people who did not wish to obtain the annual report online. Voting members of the branch have also been provided the opportunity to ask questions in advance of the meeting about the detail of the 2 reports. However, we have not received any questions. Therefore, on behalf of the board, I commend the annual report to the voting members of the branch. So thank you very much. The consolidated financial report was endorsed by the board at its meeting on the 18th of December 2023. I now invite the Chair of the Finance and Audit Committee, Langdon Blight, to speak to the financials. Thank you, Langdon.
Thank you, Paul. President, Chief Commissioner, board members and members of the Scout Association of Australia, South Australian Branch Incorporated. My name is Langdon Blight and I have been Chair of the Scout SA's Finance and Audit Committee since March 2020. It's my role this evening to present the audited financial report for the 12-month period ended 30th of September 2023 and to make comments on the report that will assist you in appreciating the factors that have impacted upon our financial results. The audited financial statements and annual report have been published on the Scouts SA website and have been available from the 23rd of February. The annual report includes on pages 14 and 15 a financial snapshot of our assets and liabilities as at the end of the financial year and our revenue and expenses for the financial year. For the period, Scouts SA has realised a deficit of just under $4.2 million, which is around $300,000 greater than our deficit for the previous financial year. Although there are a number of contributing factors, the deficit includes expenses relating to redress and our responsibilities to the survivors of historic abuse of $4.2 million, which is $1.3 million greater than the previous financial year. The result also includes income from the sale of property, plant and equipment to the value of $3.1 million, which is just over $200,000 greater than the previous financial year. This largely relates to the sale of our Glen Osmond Road property. At last year's AGM, I made the observation that the 2021-22 financial year had been a period of significant change, including changes to the leadership team, and that Scouts SA was at a turning point, with all staff and members alike having a role to play in manoeuvring our operations back to a financially sustainable position as a main priority. I referred to the need to reinvest in our commercial revenue generating activities, which I remind you are our recycling centres, campsites and exerbia. We needed to improve their stability, rectified recent years of underinvestment, and we needed to increase their profitability in order to support scouting in the state. We needed to ensure all activities are conducted safely, soundly, and with a view to future sustainable performance. I emphasised that our commercial activities have the sole purpose of supporting the delivery of our youth program and ensuring we are able to continue to provide the necessary support to our volunteers now and into the future. I referred back to my comments at last year's AGM because they set the scene for our financial strategy moving forward. The board and leadership recognised such investment was essential if Scouts SA is to remain viable into the future, and this focus continues. Last year, the board set an objective of returning to an operating financial surplus within 5 years, underpinned by sustainable commercial operations. The board's goal is to achieve a break-even position by 2026-27 and to achieve surplus by 2027-28. I can report to you that we're on track to achieve this goal, and furthermore, we've identified opportunities to reduce our debt burden over this period of time. Underpinning this is a collective effort to work as one team under a new strategic plan that sets our direction and supports the youth of South Australia through scouting. I have no doubt that as we move forward to achieving our goal, that there will be unexpected challenges. But I can assure you that the board and leadership are firmly focused on our financial goal, and we look forward to updating you on our progress at future AGMs. Finally, as part of the reporting requirement of our state regulator, I present to you our related party transactions for the year end 22-23 and the contracted related party transactions for the current year. At each board meeting, directors disclose any conflict of interest for decision at the meeting and are required to abstain from participating in that decision. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you. Voting members of branch have been provided the opportunity to ask questions in advance of any questions that they had in relation to the financial statements that have been provided, and there have been no questions that have been asked. So I thank you very much, Langdon, for your report. Very much appreciated. In a moment, I will provide the all-important results of our election of directors for 2024 to 25. Relevant resumes were circulated with the agenda, and the names were listed in alphabetical order on the ballot papers and online. I now invite our CEO, James Sellers, to explain the voting process. Thank you, James.
In accordance with our constitution, only members of the branch and associate members of the branch are able to cast their vote. They are the Chief Scout, patrons of the SA branch, directors of the board, the Chief Commissioner, Deputy Chief Commissioner, Assistant Chief Commissioners of the branch, life members, branch and project commissioners, district commissioners, branch Rover Council Chair, group leaders, Rover Scout leaders of the branch, and chairs of the group committees and honorary members. The voting was made available to all voting members via postal or online voting.
Thank you, James. The postal and or online voting for the position of Adult Leader Director and Young Adult Member Director commenced on the 26th of February 2024 and concluded at 5 p.m. on the 20th of March this year. 6 postal votes were received out of the 41 eligible voters. So advice was received by people that wished to vote who identified they were not going to vote online and they wanted to receive a postal vote. So there's 41 of them and 6 of those responded with a postal vote. Pleasingly though, 116 voting members voted online out of a possible 287, which those that are good at the maths, it's just under 40%, which is a fantastic figure. I would imagine Qantas would love to have 40% of their stakeholders have voted at an AGM. Probably not going to happen, but we did. So I think it's a great result for us. I would like to thank Grace Fan, Corporate Accountant, for her efforts in assisting with the scrutineering and the counting of the votes. To meet the current board composition requirements as per the new branch constitution, 2 board positions for Adult Leader Director are required and 1 position for Young Adult Member Director. The nominees for the Adult Leader Director position were Catherine Affleck, Janice Bates and Matthew Warren. I'm pleased to advise that after a count of the votes, Catherine Affleck and Janice Bates have been appointed for 3 years until the 2027 AGM. Congratulations to both Catherine and Janice. The nominees for the Young Adult Member Director position for 3 years were Flynn Hawkey and Matthew Warren. I'm pleased to advise that after a count of the votes, Flynn Hawkey has been appointed for 3 years until the 2027 AGM. Congratulations to Flynn. I would also like to thank Matthew for his interest and enthusiasm in applying. It is at this time that I would normally thank the outgoing directors for their work and support to the board. However, on this occasion, to save time and to keep this simple, I'm going to thank myself only because I'm the only person to leave the board. Well done, Paul. That's it. I now ask the Chair of the Finance and Audit Committee, Langdon Blight, back again to address the meeting in relation to the auditor.
Thank you, Paul. Scouts SA's current auditors are Nexia Edwards Marshall, which I'll refer to as Nexia, who were first appointed at the 2020 AGM. The Finance and Audit Committee and Board have reviewed the service provided by Nexia and have endorsed Nexia as the external auditor for the 2023-24 financial year. Branch voting members were asked to consider and accept the appointment of Nexia until the 2025 AGM. I'm pleased to announce that the audit firm Nexia Edwards Marshall has been appointed by branch voting members as the Association's auditors until the 2025 AGM. Thank you.
Thank you, Langdon. I now invite the Chair of the Human Endeavour Recognition Committee, known as the HERC, Mr. Greg Warrens, to address the meeting. Thank you, Greg.
Good evening, everyone. The branch may confer membership of the branch for life upon any person who has given distinguished service to the movement in South Australia and must have given a minimum of 25 years total service, active service in any role, adult leader or adult member, committee member, or other supporter. This year, I'm pleased to recommend on behalf of the committee the following two candidates. Bernard Ryan, fondly known as Bernie Ryan, Service Auxiliary Scout Social and Service Fellowship, and Paul Williams, Scout Leader, Anguston 2nd Scout Unit. I am pleased to announce that after a pre-meeting ballot, both candidates have been appointed by branch voting members, and we congratulate them for their service to Scouting.
I now invite James Sellers, our Chief Executive Officer, to read each citation of our newest life members. And I would also like to thank Greg once again for his involvement and leadership of the HERC, and another great result for this year. So while James is doing that, we'll probably meet over there, shall we, to take some pictures.
Sounds good. I get the fun one. I think we're kicking off with Bernard Gregory Ryan. I'm thrilled to present this Life Member Award to a dear friend and a stalwart supporter, Bernard Gregory Ryan, fondly known as Bernie. Bernie has been an integral part of Scouts SA at Woodhouse for over 26 years, offering unwavering support and guidance from the very beginning. With unparalleled creativity and a heart of gold, Bernie embodies the true spirit of Scouting. Though he's no longer on the training team, Bernie's past contributions speak volumes, notably handling cooking duties with finesse. Sounds pretty good, Bernie. His dedication extends beyond the mere attendance at meetings. Bernie eagerly volunteers for tasks ranging from barbecue cooking to essential maintenance work, showcasing his proactive and reliable nature. Bernie's contributions extend far beyond his official roles. He actively engages in major projects such as the Gypsy Caravan sitting out just beyond the rise, and the meeting place renovations right next to the Gypsy Caravan. You must have a spot there, mate. His leadership and tireless efforts leave an enduring mark, epitomising the spirit of Scouting through his commitment to service and mentorship. Moreover, Bernie's approachable demeanour and welcoming nature make him a beloved figure among volunteers, staff and visitors alike. His unwavering support and tireless dedication to the Scouting community exemplify the essence of a true gentleman and a lifelong contributor. Please, one more time for Bernie Ryan.
Another fan favourite, Paul Williams. Paul's journey with the Scout movement began as a cub many years ago at the 2nd Angaston Group. From there, he progressed through to Scouts, Venturers, Rovers, predominantly associated with the Loans Rover during his Loans group during his Rover days, culminating in the achievement of the prestigious Queen Scout Award. For over 28 years, Paul worked alongside his father Brian, affectionately known as Fossil, serving as an assistant scout leader before assuming the role of scout leader and in recent years. His dedication to the group is evident through his active involvement in various activities and events, always ready to take on responsibilities as needed. Paul's commitment extends beyond local endeavours, with active participation in state and district scouting events that Angaston has been involved in. In 2022, he stepped up as the role of leader in charge during his group leader's temporary absence. Paul's extensive involvement in scouting includes attending 10 Australian Jamborees, serving as troop leader in the most recent one and a line leader in the 3 previous. He also lent his expertise to the 10th Australian Venture and Youth Team Challenges in 1999 and 2001. Recognised for his dedication, Paul was awarded the Silver Koala in 2019 and has recently achieved an impressive milestone of 35 years of service. However, beyond accolades and achievements, what truly sets Paul apart is his unwavering passion for ensuring that youth members have fun and learn through hands-on experiences. As an enabler of this fundamental aspect of Scouting, Paul's impact on the movement is immeasurable, leaving a lasting legacy of empowerment and inspiration. Congratulations, Paul.
Can I just say this is an absolute honour tonight because it was myself as Commissioner for Loans way back all those years ago that presented Paul his Queen Scouts.
John, I now invite you to come forward for some closing remarks.
Some closing remarks. Excellent. In fact, I'd like some people to come and join me. So last weekend, in fact, the last 2 days, I was lucky enough to meet with over 40 youth leaders and adult leaders to discuss the delivery of our program. In fact, some of those people are here tonight, so hopefully I'll say the right things. But all of those people came along, we gathered, we met for 2 days, and they're all there with a passion to create the change needed to deliver an adventurous, fun, challenging and inclusive program for our youth members. The group provided a clear message over the weekend that we need to look wide, take risks and develop the changes needed to create a dynamic scouting experience for the youth of South Australia today and tomorrow. But when you think about it, in many ways, we're kind of lucky to be here. The last few years for our branch have been kind of tough. The board has been required to make some big decisions about scouting in South Australia's future. And I guess leading that rebuild has been our president, Paul. So I guess you should come out and join us now. But Jenny, you've been a part of the adventure, so why don't you come out as well? Come over and join this mob over here. Okay. Move down, come closer, come closer. God, no, they're walking away. You're meant to come this way. You can come down this end. So, Paul, your commitment to the branch executive committee, now the board, has been about 20 years. Would that be right?
2 years less.
Oh, sorry.
22 years.
2 years more then. You were elected to the BEC, actually that makes sense now, in 2002. Excellent. And you were elected Vice President in 2011. And in fact, Jenny, you could probably fill us in about that a little bit, because I think Paul was finishing when that happened.
Yes, he was. He was going to leave and said, this will be my last one, came back as Vice President.
Oops. And then at the 2018 AGM, you were elected by the voting members as the branch president.
That's correct.
We got that bit right. Thank you. Someone else is just going to join in. Brenton. Highly organised.
We're normally more organised at our meetings, I can tell you. During this time, he's presided over a significant change in scouting in South Australia, including upgrades to key infrastructure at Woodhouse, including Sione, that we're here in tonight, the establishment of new recycling depots in South Australia and Queensland, the relocation of the Scout Outdoor Centre, now Exerbia, to the parade at Norwood, and the appointment of 2 chief commissioners and 2 CEOs, and a branch strategic plan, and most recently leading the constitutional review. Langdon.
Paul has held various roles on committees of the board during this time, including as a member of the Human Endeavour Committee from 2007 to the present, and it includes a period as chair of the committee from 2007 to 2019. In this position, he was instrumental in the development and adoption of by HERC of a series of guidelines to assist with the nomination process. Paul was a member of the Woodhouse Strategic Planning Committee from 2003 until 2008. He was chair of the Woodhouse 2020 Committee from 2018 until 2020. He was a member of Finance and Audit Committee from 2018 to the present, and he navigated as president through the COVID and the sale of the arena. Chair of the Remuneration Committee from 2019 to the present, member of the Risk Committee from 2022 to the present, member of the Ken Maguire Fund Administrators from 2011 to the present, including a period as chair, member of the Nominations Committee to appoint the Chief Commissioner, and a director of the Scouts Stadium Incorporated.
At a national level, Paul's various roles as a member of the National Executive Committee, National Council, the National Strategic Planning Committee and Governance Subcommittee has influenced decision-making for the betterment of Scouting nationally and for Scouts SA. During this time, Paul has led the development of the National Strategic Plan as 2021 to 2023 Strategic Plan Coordinator and continues to advocate on challenging matters of financial risk at a national and state level.
It would be remiss if we didn't also acknowledge that during his tenure as president, Paul has racked up 40 years worth of service as a volunteer, ranging from an activity leader, group leader, committee chair, the branch commissioner for police scouters, the security lead for many branch events, and deputy director of AJ 2019. He was also awarded a Queen Scout in 1978, life membership of the South Australian branch in 2006, a silver kangaroo for exemptional service to Scouts SA in 2013.
Excuse me. But it's not just here, is it? There's been all of that national stuff as well, and we have a message, not from the King, but from Scouts.
I've been called worse. Sounds like you're a bit of an overachiever. But so this one here is from Neville Tompkins. Dear Paul, also Neville, if you know and love Neville. Yeah. Why take a sentence when you can have a paragraph? Dear Paul, greetings from Scouts Australia. On the eve of your retirement as President of Scouts South Australia, we would like to congratulate you on your many scouting achievements, and to wish you well, and to Jenny and the very best for the future. During your time as President, you've made a most significant contribution to the National Executive Committee, including, of course, the development and monitoring of our National Strategic Plan from 21 to 23. Of the many other issues on the NEC's agenda, you've always offered an informed opinion with your views, often shaping the direction of the discussion and the final decision. We all learnt to trust your judgment and your judgment call, on challenging matters, and appreciated your candour in many discussions. Your sage advice, based on years of practical experience in your professional and scouting careers, was something we all learned to respect and value. You always made a genuine effort to join our NEC committee meetings, regardless of where you were at the time, and I can attest to this many times over. Your reports at the start of our NEC meetings on your and Jenny's recent canoeing or walking adventures became legendary. We also take this opportunity to thank Jenny for her remarkable support of you. It has been only through her unstinting efforts and sacrifices that you have been able to devote time and effort to your various scouting roles. Now, I'd also say this with a little bit of concern, because the next is, whilst we will miss you from the NEC, we are delighted that you have agreed to continue on as a member of the Internal Governance Subcommittee, which is unreal. I wanted to check with Paul beforehand that he'd actually known that. We still have much to learn from you, so good. You and your many friends at the National Executive Committee and National Office, I wish you and Jenny all the very best for the future. With best wishes, yours in Scouting, Neville Tompkins. And I'll just add for me, just because I've only got the mic and I get a chance, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude for you, Paul. Paul was the first face I got to see at Scouts SA. He interviewed me and then made sure that we stayed pretty close through Woodhouse. And since then, we've done the Vision Group of 2020, supporting jamborees, and I would say his most fulfilling role in Scouts of late, which is recently in being my boss. Being my boss, I think. Regardless of his position, Paul's unwavering commitment to nurturing and advancing Scouts and Scouts SA has always remained constant. His leadership has significantly contributed to the growth and improvement of Scouts SA, setting a clear path that aligns with his vision for the association. Paul's dedication and passion have been a tremendous inspiration to many, myself included. I'm deeply grateful to him for his unwavering support and guidance through my journey and for Scouts as a whole. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you, everyone. What do I have to do with this?
Just you'll get. Sounds like you haven't had enough time, or we're very lucky that your job at the police force was really easy to fit all of this in. Anyway, we've had a big long list of different activities, events and things you've organised. What would be the highlight?
I think from a highlight from a leadership perspective would have to be my involvement with Woodhouse 2020.
Because?
Because we were able to take this wonderful property from a position that we're almost thinking about selling it, and we had cows running around cutting the lawn, to a place where it is to now. It's a national award-winning location, and it's gone from A to Z in a fairly short period of time. We finished it in about 2019, and look where we are today. It's just absolutely wonderful, and we should be so proud of this environment we've got here, the facilities we've got here. So from a leadership perspective, that has been absolutely wonderful. There's been lots of challenges, but I think, and I was reflecting on this when Sarah's group were talking earlier on in the introduction, was, well, what's scouting been for me? And, I love going walking, don't we, dear?
Yes.
And we've walked all over the world, and I wouldn't have walked anywhere if it wasn't for scouting. And I've got friends today, probably 5 or 6 of them, that we go regularly, we go paddling, regularly we go scouting, and I was in scouts with all of them. So, you know,
That's
I'm a
pretty
very lucky
exciting.
boy.
So Jenny, Neville's probably stolen a whole pile of the things that I was going to say in typical Neville fashion, but you've been away on a different adventures and suddenly we see you in the back of a camera shot at a meeting somewhere in the caravan or whatever, for trying to sneak in meals and so on. Where have some of those unique locations been around the world?
Probably the most unique one was crossing Drake's Passage on the way to Antarctica. And he then had to get up at 3 a.m. to chair a meeting. And he thought he was going to do it in our suite. And I said, no.
Good on you.
There's a meeting room down the corridor. You're going down there. So, but, you know, we've been all over the world, and he's been able to come in with modern technology and to be able to chair meetings. I must admit, in 4 weeks' time, we're heading off again.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
What's the next adventure?
So 4 weeks' time, we're heading off again to do some walking in France and the coast to coast in the UK, and a few other things. And the most exciting part about that is that scouts aren't coming.
Except Neville did tell us about some other committee.
I'll put an apology for that now.
Okay. Hey, Paul, what about the embarrassing moments? You know, the funny moments that you can remember?
I won't say I've obviously, you know, it's like in anything, you make mistakes in life. And I think my biggest mistake is in a position, you know, which I had at work and what I've got here, is that everybody knows you, but you don't know everyone else. And that has caused me some drama in the past where I thought a person was A and actually they were B. And you might say the wrong thing, or you say something which is completely out of context. So that's probably the greatest embarrassment.
Thanks, David, for that comment.
That's right, anytime.
Okay, look, I think there's nothing more that we can say, but thank you. Thank you for your vision, your creativity, your dedication, that enthusiasm, both of you, that support that you have provided to ensure scouting in South Australia can continue to grow and evolve. Sarah?
Been an honour.
Do you have something to bring across? You can present.
Oh. Scouts say.
Thank you very much, Sarah. That's lovely. I can't say I'll wear it with honour because I can't.
But don't get hung up about that.
Very good.
Yes, you've been framed.
You should have the dad jokes.
Jenny, this is for you.
So let's give both of them a big round of applause. I'll move out. Well done, congratulations, and I guess cautiously we give you the final word.
Yes. Thank you, guys. You've absolutely killed my last comments, which I had written for about an hour tonight, this afternoon, to make sure I had them right. But there's really only one point that I wish to take out, and from that is that the support that I have received in being the president of this wonderful organisation has been absolutely outstanding. It's like in any job that you have, there's ups and downs, and you know, some of the downs have been quite down, but there's been far more ups than there has been downs. And really the support that I've received, and I'm not going to highlight too many people, but I do need to highlight Angela and Jenny. The other Jenny in my life has been absolutely wonderful, dealing with my presidential issues every now and again. And the other person, which I obviously need to acknowledge, is the other Jenny in my life, being my wife. I want to provide the example of one issue to explain the support that I've received from Jenny. We're walking along the Camino Trail. And it's, for those that don't know, this is about a 917 kilometre walk, so it's a bit of an afternoon walk to have. Anyway, along the walk, I had to do the chair of a BEC meeting. All right. So we find this very small village in Spain, had a very dodgy Wi-Fi, and because of the time difference, the meeting started about 9 a.m. It was a long BEC meeting and it finished about 1 p.m. All right. Then the challenge was that we had booked our night's accommodation, but it was 25 kilometres away. So my dear wife and I walked that 25 kilometres, and thank God in Spain they have their equivalent of daylight saving, so it doesn't get dark until quite late. And more importantly, the Spaniards don't eat until about 10 o'clock at night. So we got there. But while I'm walking, I'm thinking, this might not end well. And that I had another BEC meeting to attend. And I said, I'm doing a risk assessment while I'm walking. And I think I have to have another plan for the next meeting. And I came up with one. We actually had the day off. So I spent the time at the meeting and Jenny went shopping. So it's all good. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're finished. Concluded.